that heaviest band is going to include the city of Chicago, Rockford, and Madison. Milwaukee and Kankakee are going to be in the lighter area, and of course, just south of there, they're not going to get much of anything at all. It's a complete difference from what we've been seeing. A few clouds, 30 to 25 tonight.
3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Tavern Brick Podcast. Tonight, we squeezed it in. We didn't think we would. We rescheduled, I don't know, maybe 10 times already, but making it happen just before Brick World, which is coming up. So tonight is Monday, Brick World, Chicago, Wednesday. I have from Building with Buds, the jokester, Easy Craftsman. What's up, Easy Craftsman?
How you doing, Wes? Thanks for having me.
Good. So why don't you tell everybody who Eric is?
A jokester pretty much at heart. Nope. I'm a married father of 3 on the path to licensure to become an architect, which is kind of where Lego started my my career, basically. Going through that. But anyway, you might see me on TikTok or Instagram, had some luck and some success on those social media platforms. And just right now, just relaxing and taking a break from all of it. So just enjoying Building with Buds, as you mentioned.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, TikTok is I've never had TikTok, but obviously through other platforms, your videos would, cross pollinate into Instagram and other things like that. And, was that kind of your intention of trying to get big, or was it just I just want to have fun and create some cool TikToks?
Well, it really was the latter, right? My whole point was to, show people that Lego isn't your father's or your mother's or grandparents' Lego anymore, right? The addition of all these incredible parts just within the last 10 years allow this to be a pretty incredible model making medium, none other than, anything else, right? So that really kind of was my goal, just to show adults that, there's more that can be done with this than before, and then just trying to make people laugh and be funny. And I think when we start doing this kind of stuff, we hope that we get some success, but never ever imagined it. Not that I have had success, but I know there's people that probably would say, oh, I'd love to have that many people, right? So I'm aware of the situation and not stupid to it. But and then it was just trying to share stuff that I would bring from TikTok over to Instagram, just so other people would see it, because not everybody uses all the platforms, just like you said. And then it was just advice of other people of saying, hey, you should try this out a little bit and do some of that. And just, really just to see what the possibilities could be, really, at the end of the day.
And the whole thing, too, is it's really crazy to see, I say it basically on every podcast, how large the adult community is in Lego. I mean, I'm sitting here doing a podcast talking with another guy that is my age, and we're just sitting here, it's I don't know, it's one of those things that once you get involved in the community and you see other people's handles, what they do, YouTube videos, TikTok videos, Instagram, it is massive. And that's kind of what Brick World's going to be all about, is everybody all coming together. But more on you, is your family really involved with the whole Lego scene, or is it kind of all right, you go do your thing, Eric, and we'll be upstairs?
Yeah, go downstairs and we'll pretend that we get you.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? So my oldest, my 2 oldest are twins, right? So my oldest daughter, she's moved on from it. She enjoys it a little bit, but never really was her thing. Her twin brother loves it, builds mocks all the time, is completely the opposite of what I was as a child. I had to build the set exactly the way the instructions said it needed to be. And for the most part, all my sets had to stay that way. I would break some apart and build custom stuff, but didn't really have the imagination that he had at that same age. So that's a blast to see that. My youngest daughter, she loves to build the brick heads, and anytime she'll come and ask, hey, do you want to build Lego? And she'll come in here and we'll set up the computer and we'll watch a movie or something as we're building. And my wife, she builds periodically. You know, she'll do the botanicals and some of the TV show, the Friends stuff. But it doesn't really fit into her schedule maybe as much. But when she gets a free time, she can. So I would say there's a little bit of Lego in everyone. There's just a lot more Lego in a few of us compared to the rest.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that too. Like my son's 9 now and he still builds. I force him to build every day because he's got like every speed champion ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And he destroyed a bunch of them. I'm like, you're going to rebuild all your speed champions. So that's the goal for the summer is 1 speed champ a day. And he does it. I mean, no complaints. Like he likes to build, but he's beyond the point of, I guess, the excitement of it, which is fine. I'm not going to push him or force him into anything. I mean, obviously, if we go to the store and he sees something that he wants and he wants to build, yeah, sure. But other than that, it's build and then shove it to the side.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, my son has probably a good handful and a half of sets that are unopened. And it's not that he doesn't want to open and build them. He's just enjoying doing his own thing. Like he's just not making time to open those sets and put them together. He's, you know, making custom minifigures all the time. And each one for the most part will have a backstory. And he'll give you like their origin story of what this minifigure is, and he'll create a scene around them and stuff that he's into of like Among Us or Fortnite or Roblox. And he just, you know, creates these cool things. I mean, he's much more fortunate than I was, right? Like I had a decent amount of Lego growing up, but not nearly as much as he has as at his fingertips, right? So I don't know if it definitely helps when it comes to, you know, him being a builder. And he'll come in here and he'll spend a lot of time. I had 3 cups of masonry brick from light bluish gray from the Lego store, and he likes to use that in his model making builds. And I'm down to like, you know, a quarter of a cup left. And I said, okay, you've got to slow down on using this part because I don't have any left.
I can't even believe you found that in a Lego store.
I've been pretty lucky with the store. I'm lucky that I have one that's only about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes without traffic away. And the store manager really kind of fights hard. I mean, all the stores are fighting over the same parts, right? The minute they say they're available, and they put in as many orders as they can. I'd love them to reach out to me and let them know what shows up, but I haven't asked them to do that.
Yeah, I know. We were just the closest Lego store for us is couple hours away, so we were down there the other weekend and I looked at the pick a brick and I'm like, oh, there's no masonry bricks. There's never masonry bricks.
It's few and far between when it happens. I think it's probably been only twice since, what was it, a year and a half ago or something, when they opened up more parts to North America. But same here. Prior, you know, when Toys R Us was around, we had, you know, between that and Babies R Us, probably 6 within a 30-40 minute radius of the house. So we never had a Lego store. But the minute Toys R Us went bankrupt and closed all their stores, they said, okay, well, we need to get a store in that market now. So it's really the reason why. Other than that, I'd be, you know, have the same issue, 2.5 hours to a Lego store.
We just got a bricks and minifig store like 40 minutes south of us, which is nice. So at least there's something. But
yeah, which had their grand opening recently, right?
Yeah, that was really cool. I always watch YouTube videos of people going to grand openings, and once we got that in, I'm like, I am going to that grand opening and I'm gonna wait in line. And we got there and it was downpouring rain, and I'm like, this sucks.
See, our closest bricks and minifig is in Connecticut, and it's like a 2.5-3 hour drive. And we've gone twice, and it you know, it hasn't been the experience that other people talk about when it comes to bricks and minifigs. But you know, there's a couple other options, but nothing really local, unfortunately, when it comes to used stuff. But we do have a couple little pop-up stores that are starting to do it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think you're starting to see the growth of secondhand stores pop up all over the place because, I mean, whether it's the Brick Barn or I seen quite a few different places around the Midwest that are starting to pop up, which is cool. Gives other people options besides the Lego store. But
yeah, because, people are able to get back out now, right? People had closed their stores because of the pandemic and everything, right? So now they're finally getting back. I can't remember her name. I think season 3 of Lego Masters. She's from Pittsfield, Mass. She just reopened her store that she had prior to everything going down. So, it'll be good. It'd be nice to have stores where you can buy brick rather than constantly going online. But, we'll never be able to avoid buying a lot of parts online.
yeah, I know when we walked into the Bricks and Minifig this past weekend, there was a lot of people just at the sort tables, just shuffling through. And I'm like, yep, this is what people needed. Because, I mean, it was busy. There's a lot of people there, which is good for them, good business. And I wanted to see success out of that. I obviously interviewing the owner of the store and stuff. And, it's nice. I walked in and he was walking out and he recognized me right away from doing the podcast. And we chatted a little bit and asked him how things were going. And he said, really good. And so that's good that he's getting the business and stuff. So
absolutely. Like you said, there's a market out there for it.
Yeah. So I kind of want to stumble into the whole building with Bud stream. And how did that become? How was it where you, Tanner, and Kev all got together? I mean, how did this all kind of form?
Yeah, I think, it really was Kevin and Tanner that started it off. Did a handful of shows and, Kevin, Tanner, and I met, 2-3 years ago, through other channels and stuff and got close and talked a lot. I started doing my own thing on TikTok that kind of blew up a little bit, was doing, I think at one point, like 2 live streams a week or something like that. And very similar to Instagram, it's not the easiest platform to do a live stream, right? You can only see 3 or 4 comments and they fly through and you have got to use your phone or, some other kind of smart device to do it. Not very user friendly. Just was getting kind of frustrated about some of that stuff. And, Kevin Tanner kept hounding me to go on with them. And I was like, yeah, I'd absolutely love to. It's kind of hard with the family and doing the TikTok stuff, but finally said, yep. All right, let's do it. I'll go on. And we did a couple and they just kind of made it easy on me. They were like, look, just sit back, have fun. Don't sit there and worry about the comments and stuff. And just take it easy. And my whole strategy on building with Buds is if I can make Kevin and Tanner laugh, then my job is done, right? So I'll say the stupid, idiotic thing because I want them to laugh. That's all I want. And then if it populates to everyone else like you and the great people that support the channel and they laugh too, then, that's icing on the cake. But, I want to make those guys laugh because they inspire me all the time, and I'm happy to have met them and have them in my life. So if I can make their day a little brighter, then so be it.
Yeah, it's one of those like comedic things that draws you to the stream because it is a lot of Lego talk. Tanner does a really good job with that.
That's why we have him.
and Kevin stated that before, like he's like the Lego encyclopedia of what's coming out, history of Lego, like, certain pieces in Lego, minifigures in Lego, like he's got it down to a T. Like Tanner doesn't have a life. Like we all know that. So
I don't know how he has the time to remember all that. I wish I could remember all that, but I can't tell you the countless times I send him a text message and I'm like, what is this that came out? I don't remember this. And he'll be like, yeah, we talked about it. And I'm just like, I can't retain all of it. He does an amazing job at remembering all that stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think it's because Tanner doesn't have very many friends or?
I don't know. I think it's the engineer in him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. We joke and we tell him he's our Rain Man and he just remembers all dates and everything. And just, I don't know. Some people are just gifted with that brain, I guess.
Yeah. He's special. I did notice you're not wearing your collar. Are you just saying that for Brick World or?
Haven't gotten it yet. Kev's got it. Lucky him. He's got to travel with 3 of them in his carry-on. I'm so hoping customs really stops them for quite a while to investigate that. But no, I'll be receiving that from Joe, generous gift from Joe in a handful of days. I've put that out of my mind, so thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, but I know you guys. I mean, like you said, everybody's meeting up for Brick World. I hate to be Kevin because, I mean,
we all do.
Yeah. I said hate to be him, not hate him.
Oh. I mean, you say tomatoes, I say tomatoes.
Yeah. But basically, I mean, Kevin and a Sharpie marker are going to be best friends, and I'm really excited for this.
He's going to have a lot of best friends.
Yeah.
So not just one Sharpie best friend. He's going to have a lot.
Yeah, because I just think, I mean, it's going to be easily done because if you guys just somehow slip NyQuil where he can fall asleep, because he claims he's not going to bed at all, but he's going to crash.
Oh, we'll make sure of it.
Yeah.
100%.
Or, I mean, if it takes quite a few AFOLs to hold him down, that's not going to be a problem.
We'll enlist a group to hold him down. I mean, it would be a fail. It would be an epic fail, a Brick World, if he didn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
And if he didn't come back with at least a couple new ink marks on him.
Yeah.
You get that stuff because you want a story to tell, right? Like that's the whole point of tattoos, to commemorate where you were at some point in your life. So how do you not, get a little bit new ink?
Yeah. And I think since Kevin is such a fan of tattoos, that wherever people place these said tattoos on him, he should keep and then go back to a tattoo parlor and actually have them put on permanently in memory.
You know what? That's probably the best idea I've heard.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah. I mean, we'll all have to chip in and help pay for said tattoo, but that's what GoFundMe's for.
I guess.
Yeah. But what are some of the things you are bringing to Brick World? As far as you said, you didn't want to ship stuff. You were kind of driving instead of flying and shipping. And what are you bringing there?
So a bunch of us are getting together and doing a kind of small city scale build. So I have a custom. I kind of went the easy route. I have a modular that I made a couple of years ago now, maybe 3 years ago. That's a butcher shop. So kind of your typical standard, Lego modular building, nothing too extravagant, designed off a couple different buildings that I have in the area based on the color and the layout. So just getting the finishing touches on the lighting in there. I might bring a couple of the mosaics that I have. I don't think there's really going to be spot to display them.
Just set it next to Kate's stuff.
Never. Oh my gosh, her stuff is going to be insane.
Like, Kate, can I
wait to see that? Oh, I can't wait to see it in person. Like, that stuff is crazy. I can't imagine doing that, right? Like, I've done a few mosaics and they've all been pretty simple. I use the studio product and let that help me generate what's going on. And then I modify it based on colors. Cause I did a custom moon to put the Batwing in front of, right? So to give you that iconic 89 scene, and it wanted me to buy like 100 and something pieces immersed blue. And it was like, hold on, that can't happen and is not going to happen. So there's a little modifications that have that, but what Kate does is insane. That's incredible.
Yeah. Her mocks are unreal. Like, I love Jurassic World, and the stuff she does with JW is just blows my mind.
Yeah, she knocks it out of the park all the time. Like, I can't think about how to use, part usage the way she does, and kind of blends so many different elements to create such texture. It's beautiful work.
Yeah, she's got a gift. Like, man, the whole Bricklink sign that she did, like, just the creativity inside of that. I don't know what she's bringing to Brick World, but whatever she brings, I'm excited.
She's going to bring some pretty cool stuff. I don't want to give anything away of what she's bringing, but it's going to be some pretty epic stuff.
Yeah. What are your plans as far as Brick World goes? Are you going to kind of just hang out in an area? Do you plan on trying to get around, hanging out with people, walking around, kind of screw your display and I want to go hang out?
Well, we have somebody in our group, a couple that are pretty concerned with theft. So we've talked about, at least one or two people monitoring.
Does that really happen at Brick World?
I've heard it does. I mean, I don't know about at Brick World. I mean, last year they were talking about how everyone's pretty good at policing everyone else's displays and kind of avoiding stuff like that. But, from what I've heard, there are some, pretty bad stories of stuff. Like if you've got certain minifigures that you don't want to lose, you either take them to your room when you're done with when the public hours end, or you put it towards the back of your display. I mean, they sent an email telling people that very thing, because the convention hall is, from what I know, it's pretty much unlocked the whole time from when non-public days start through the end of Sunday. So when I was there last year, I went back, I think Friday, well, it would have been Saturday morning at like 3 a.m. just to take some videos of some of the displays that were up. So then there was nobody in the way. I didn't have to worry about the sound. And there was still somebody in there working on his mock because it had gotten pretty heavily damaged bringing it in. So, as long as you're, cordial and well behaved, they don't kick anyone out, especially if you're trying to get your display done. But, that could lead to possibilities where, if you bring the Deadpool minifig, you might not bring it home with you. Right.
Man, it sucks. Like,
it does. Absolutely. It does. Cause, yeah, but I mean, unfortunately, I guess it happens. I would assume it's probably kids more than adults doing it, I would hope. But yeah, it's something you just have to think about, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going down with any mock or anything. I'm just going down to hang out and
yep. Oh yeah, sorry to cut you off, but to actually answer the rest of your question.
Yeah.
Last year we ended up spending a lot of time kind of outside of the convention, just checking out the areas, because a lot of us, it was the first time getting together and being in the actual area. So we went and checked out a lot of the other stores, did a lot of things together in the evenings. I think the plans are to kind of, take that back a little bit. Maybe have a couple days where we go out, but then mostly on convention days, just kind of really just hanging out and being there for the whole time to try to catch, more of the festivities that happen on Saturday night and things like that. So I'll be around, like Tanner and Kev say. No one should hesitate to come up and say hello. We're all in this together. We enjoy the hobby. So I'll talk anyone's ear off about Lego or anything really, I guess.
Yeah, we're going and kind of open expectations, because obviously I've never been there before, and I definitely want to walk around and see everything. I just want to take the time to look at everybody's mocks, enjoy everybody's mocks, even though if it's a theme that I'm not into, I still want to get as much video content as far as pictures go, and I want to be able to talk to as many people, a lot of people that I follow, and just kind of hang out and relax, like not feel stressed out. I thought about doing a mock and I was like, nope, too much for the first year. I want to see what this is all about before I even step foot in that water, because I have to experience it first.
I hear you. Same way last year. I didn't bring anything. Not that I really had anything to build. Kind of get into writer's block when I think about it, right? Like, oh, what would be something cool from my childhood that I'd love to build? And then I get the power of paralysis when it comes to making some of those decisions sometimes, and just can't come up with anything. And then, it just kind of sits there and nothing happens. So I had a blast last year. It was incredible, not just the builds, but like you said, with the people, and getting time to spend with everybody that you had met like online for 2-3 years, and all of a sudden everybody merged pretty much into one place, and it was a lot of fun. I don't remember any issues or any time feeling like left out or anything. It really was a good time, and don't think you have anything to worry about. I think you're gonna have a blast. You're gonna walk around and get so inspired by so much stuff. You're going to go back home and you're going to be like, I want to do this. I saw this build. I want to do something like it. Or I sat there and talked to this person for an hour about their display. I did that with somebody, I think it was from a Wisconsin mug, maybe actually, and did this whole thing with gears and switches that all worked automatically. And he had put together a book with photos, and it was probably a good 45 minutes where I just sat in awe as he showed me all of this stuff, and using fishing line and certain gears to get it to actuate the switch so then the motor would stop and everything. I was just fascinated. So you're gonna see so much stuff. You're not gonna know what to do, because it's just gonna be overwhelming probably with the amount of cool things. But you're gonna love it. It's such a blast. Not just the builds, but the people.
I guess nobody's ever really asked the question. I haven't heard anything, but is there any negative side to Brick World as far as like stuff that you're kind of like meh, or experiences where you're like, yeah, that's not cool about Brick World?
Mm-hmm. I think if you're going there to buy a Lego set, right, the best thing is probably just save your money. Unless you really know what the market is for stuff, then you might be able to, talk the talk and get them to reduce the price. But that's the one thing I noticed last year when it came to vendors. The prices of sets were just ridiculous. What I enjoyed when it came to merchandise was all the custom stuff, Eclipse graphics, all the, they made windows that you could replace in your Palace Cinema with,
the new
movies.
movie.
Yeah, but all Lego, like made like a Lego thing. Like that stuff to me was cool. So I'm looking forward to going and seeing some of that. The Citizen Brick minifigures. Even if you're looking for minifigs from the vendors, I didn't think prices were too bad on minifigs. And then if you don't like crowds, this year's going to be way worse than last year.
And that's what everybody's saying. This is going to be like the biggest one ever.
Yeah. I think they had like 204. The numbers are going to be way off. I probably should have texted Tanner first and asked him. But it was like 240 or something people displaying last year, and it's like 380 this year. So it's... Wow. It's going to be a ton, and they're still working through the layouts, and I'm just kind of waiting till I get there Thursday and just point me where to go.
I know I'm in a Instagram Brick World group chat, and Tanner's always spouting off in there. And like the other day, I think I was at like a baseball tournament and my phone's going off. I'm like, oh my God, it's this Instagram chat. And I look up, first thing I see is Tanner like, here's the group or the map for Brick World just released. And like, man, he's like on top of it. It's like the middle of it.
He's a walking encyclopedia. It's unbelievable, his retention of stuff. Even, and just not even in Lego, Marvel and Star Wars, the movies, the TV shows, like it's insane. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, just looking at the map and seeing all the lugs and like how many tables there were, just like briefly looking at the map, I just thought to myself, like, this is gonna be a long day of walking around, because it's not. I've been to Brick World Milwaukee, and that's tiny. It's real small. Mm-hmm. And then just this, like, one section is Brick World Milwaukee, and I'm like, yep, that's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of walking.
Yeah, and not only sheer volume, and not that any other convention centers have mediocre displays, but it's the amount of high quality stuff you're going to see. And the detail level on a lot of this stuff is just unreal. I remember walking past a couple builds several times and seeing different things in the model every time, and being like, I didn't even notice that when I first walked through. Because the nice thing of going early is you can kind of walk around with less crowds and see people as they're setting things up. So you get a really good view of stuff. And, the barricades aren't up yet, so you can get up close and start talking with people as they're putting things together. But that's what amazed me the most, was the ingenuity of how some of the stuff was built and what they came up with. I left there incredibly inspired.
So I'm assuming Saturday, obviously public day, is probably just mass chaos of people.
It's probably going to be herds and floods of people just walking aimlessly around a giant open space.
Yeah, pretty much going into any Walmart.
Yeah, pretty much. No, well, maybe they have a greeter. I don't know.
Yeah, and people probably have pants on.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, pajama pants. The up-class Walmart, but...
You know what? I'm not going to... As long as they're pants, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever material, no worries.
So, what do you kind of have planned future-wise for Easy Craftsman? You have rumors of the U.S. banning TikTok. I know certain states have already started the banning of TikTok, and I don't know what's going to happen with the state of our country if it's just gonna no more TikTok. What would you do?
You know what? In all seriousness, I really don't care. Like, I haven't posted probably since April, really anywhere, just because, it gets to be difficult. Like, when it was early on, I would post randomly and it was like, oh, let me see how this goes. Okay, great. And then a few things started taking off, and then you start feeling obligated to start, well, maybe I need to do something a little bit more consistent. And then things start spiraling a little bit more. And now all of a sudden you're trying to do 1 to 2 videos a day. And it's, going on for 4 months, 6 months. And it just gets overwhelming. And, just because we put ourselves out there, right, to share our hobby and connect with other people, it can be cruel at times. People feel like they can just say whatever they want to you just because you put yourself out there for it. So there's times where it's like, yeah, I just need to take a break from this. It's not enjoyable. And maybe there's just too much going on at work, right? So, all those things become a factor. If TikTok goes away, well, then it goes away. And,
Yeah,
no big deal, really. None of this ever was to like quit my job. I love my job. I love what I do every day. And I wouldn't change that for the world. I'm very lucky to be in the career that I am now, because it took a lot of wrong things or scary things to happen to actually get me here. So I wouldn't change any of that for the world. And because I don't have that goal of doing it full time or supplementing my income, it's, if it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'd rather be able to say I gave it a shot and see what happens.
I think it's so crazy with the people that do just put it all out there. And, I know you never really had set goal of wanting it to be your lifestyle of, this is my sole income and I'm going to do this. Like, obviously you're doing it for fun. Those that are out there that are trying to do it and like quitting their jobs to be full-time social media, it's like, holy, I don't know, like having a family and kids, like,
it's scary.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
it's scary. I couldn't imagine doing that. Right. Like, it's a huge leap of faith and some trust in yourself. But I think everyone starts it because it's fun.
Yeah.
And everyone is enjoying the creative aspect of putting a video together and posting it. And then some people just, get a little bit more luckier than the rest, or maybe they hit a niche that works with a lot of people and they just start to take off. And all of a sudden it starts to become a reality for some people. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say there were at times where it was like, well, wow, if I hit this certain amount in number of people, maybe I'll consider starting to do YouTube, right? Maybe I can bring 10% of those people over to YouTube and see how that goes. But, my lifestyle just doesn't allow for that. Kids, they're active. You want to give them as many opportunities as you can. And I don't want to take an opportunity away from one of my kids because I want to do a Lego YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
We build this together. My son creates mostly all the scenes that happen in the city, and that's what I enjoy. Like that's kind of what I want to bring to the table of just us doing some stuff and sharing it.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people flip from different social media platforms over to YouTube, and like, I asked a couple of them like, well, why are you switching? They're like, well, I'm seeing how successful YouTube's getting with, the algorithms of Lego and everything else, and Instagram's just kind of drowning out, and Lego's not there for Instagram anymore.
Man, I think it's the money. I think it's the money too, right? Like it's the TikTok effect. You've got YouTube with shorts and Instagram with reels trying to take back the people that left their viewers on those social media networks. And then because they're in a better position than TikTok, they can afford to pay creators better for video views. I mean, to be honest, I think my best day on a video, oh gosh, it was a lot of views in the day. And I think it was like $86 is what I got paid for that day. And I was telling somebody who's done pretty well on YouTube, has a channel and stuff. And he's like, really? How much was it? And I was like, yeah. And I tell him, he goes, are you kidding me? Like on YouTube, that would have been like, I don't know, $2,000, $4,000 for that amount of views compared to TikTok. And it was like, you sit there and you think, wow, well, that would be pretty incredible. But in order to do a video like that on YouTube, I just don't have the knowledge, the skill, or really the desire. Like, I think when you start doing YouTube and some other stuff like that, I think you've got to bring your game up a little bit. And I'm totally fine with being subpar and just shoot it from the hip and post it and move on to the next day kind of thing.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. Like just seeing the amount of people popping up in YouTube and Instagram and stuff, it's like, wow, this was never here 2 years ago. And now it's like, who are you?
I know. And a lot of them I've met and been lucky enough to meet through TikTok, and they're making big strides on Instagram and they're pushing for YouTube. And I think that's great. And I wish them all the best. And at times I'm kind of like, you know what, let them have it. I don't need it. I'm happy with, I would totally be content just doing one live stream a week with Kevin Tanner, and that being my social media.
Yeah.
That to me is perfect.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing too. Like this podcast, I do it because it's fun and I like to talk to other people and get other people exposed to the Lego community, where it's like, oh, I'm going to follow this guy because I like, this stream, or he's on this stream. And you just kind of see, obviously Andrew Brick and Brood came up with the AFL streaming guide, which was like, holy crap. After he came out with that, there's a lot of freaking streams. Like a lot.
That list did increase. That reminds me, I keep meaning to message him and say, you can take me off the list because I haven't done a Sunday TikTok stream in probably 3 months, if that. So I probably should let him know to take me off that. Andrew, I know you're watching, feel free to remove me from the list.
He usually listens in his car. He usually messages me. It's like a week late, so he'll.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to Brick World or not, but
he is. Yep.
Okay.
Andrew will be down there.
Yeah.
He's driving too, so he's got a little bit less of a trip than me. But
yeah.
And like you said, like you do this because you enjoy it, but you're also good at it. And
I don't know about that.
Well, Obviously, if I said you're good at it, then
I appreciate
definitely the case. But
unlike
that
Kevin.
is the thing, though. It really is all about fun and just sharing the hobby. And I think some of the stigma is out of it from, adults getting into it. We have a lot more sets that are geared towards not even people that know about Lego. They just happen to see something that they're into, like the DeLorean or, some of the Star Wars stuff that comes out, the art, like the botanicals, right? Like, how great are some of those? Like the orchids I brought them into work before, and people had no idea it was a Lego set until they got close to it. Like that's the stuff I enjoy. Like I bring, I haven't done it much recently because I've been pretty busy, but I'm gonna try to bring like 1 or 2 different sets every few weeks to work. Because as I've said, I work in architecture, so I'm pretty lucky that a lot of the people in my office are into Lego, right? So there isn't, and it's a relatively small office, so there isn't that stigma of me walking into, I don't know, just name anything other than architecture, right?
Yeah.
That might not have people that grew up with it or enjoy it. So I brought in the Mario block one week, figuring this would be cool because of the mechanisms, and everybody that came over was just shocked about this is a Lego set and what you could do with it and the functionality of it, right? That's what I enjoy to share.
Yeah, I know that's when people come over to our house, we have Lego everywhere, and it's like, and it's kind of shock at first because they're like, are they gonna bring me downstairs and murder me? Or
Yeah.
and then once they start looking around, they're like, holy crap, like, and it's always the modulars.
Mm-hmm.
Modulars and adults, like people that haven't been around Lego, and they're like, did you build all these? I'm like, yeah, I built them. Oh my God, how'd you get so creative to do this? I'm like, well, no, it's actually a Lego set.
Yeah.
Like there's instructions and they release it and they're like, oh my God, these are so cool. So you can make a whole city.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I used to have a city, but not anymore. And then like, I'll show them pictures of people's Lego cities and like, people have this in their house. Yeah. People do this.
Yeah. It's, I always feel bad. It's usually like with kids that comment and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And it's like, well, a lot of that stuff is not my own creation, right? I'm following pages in a book, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Trey Parker from South Park that said it best. I don't know if you saw the Lego documentary that he's in, right? And I really kind of, this is me too, where, I work in a field where it's design all the time, right? And I'm constantly redesigning spaces and trying to come up with new ways to do things. And it's really great to just grab a Lego set, open the book, and while there's thought going on when you're building it, it's just not the same. Like it's almost like I can shut my brain off a little bit and just flip the pages, put these bricks together, and all of a sudden have something to display and show off where, it's a great stress reliever for me. I don't think I have this much stress in my life, so maybe that's hopefully that doesn't indicate anything, but it just, I think there's a lot of value that goes into Lego. When I was a kid, I was doing a live stream and totally forgot that I had taken my dad's train table apart once, painted some sand and water on it and some roads, and then built a Lego city on his train table once. And that was kind of one of the great things that I realized, holy cow, that's where this kind of comes from. Like that's when I built any custom stuff as a kid, it was always like an office. Like it would be like some business. And, my mom would tell me all the time, you're going to be an architect. You're going to be an architect someday. Even before I knew what the word meant, I was told that all the time. So it's just funny how those things kind of just come back.
Yeah. Is that kind of what drew you into Lego? Was the modular buildings? Like obviously you see your city behind you. Like for me, it was my kid just buying general Lego city sets, and then he was getting, the $40 city buildings, and then he wanted to build a little city, And then I stumbled across the modulars, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. We're going to add this to the city. And then I was like, wait, there's a whole line of modulars. And then I started like deep diving into like, oh man, they don't make this one anymore. And then I go on eBay, and I'm like, what? They want $1,000 for this? And like, and then I found Marketplace, and that's like slowly but surely I started getting all of them, and it's like now it's an addiction. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait. January 1st, I'm at the Lego store.
I share that addiction with you. No, I've had some pretty good luck over the last year and a half with Marketplace. But for me, I had a pretty long run of my dark ages, from, a late teenager to, my mid 20s, late 20s. And my parents would still get me like one little Lego set a year for Christmas. So it was like always something a little bit to build. And at that point, it was like getting into Star Wars and stuff because that licensing had started. But it was the architecture line actually that got me into it a little bit. They were pretty simple, small builds, didn't really cost a ton of money. And then, yeah, the modulars just immediately when I saw them, right? And a lot of them were still in boxes for years just because I didn't have anywhere to display them. And then when I would build some, I had maybe 10 of them in a china cabinet that then we would take down. We'd put it on the table. Me and the kids, we'd play with the cars and all that stuff. And then it would all go back up on the shelves at the end of the weekend because we had to give the dining room table back. Weren't allowed to claim it. And then when COVID hit, I just ended up clearing up a lot of space in the basement originally. And we weren't having people over, so we didn't need the big table down here, and just started building the city to just see what would happen. And since then, we're now in this space in a different part of the basement that's just dedicated to this. But it's been great. Like it's been the last 3 years, while a lot of things have been difficult for people and have not been very rewarding at times, I feel pretty lucky with how rewarded I've been with the Lego community. And I think that's something that everyone can benefit from.
Well, I mean, obviously the economy sucks. A lot of people have scaled back. I've noticed we've scaled back because we used to do some pretty crazy hauls. And I still say to this day, I won't let my kid watch anything on YouTube that's a haul video because expectations are like, no, that's not happening. And I was in so many different themes of Lego that, every time a new release came out, like we still have certain themes. My wife's definitely with botanical, Jurassic World, and some mosaic. And my daughter's got her Disney passion. And my son's got his speed champion that he gets every speed champion every time it comes out. So, and I'm just modulars, and so we really scaled back from when stuff gets released, like, gotta have it, to now it's like, nah, don't need it.
I hear you. It's gotta be tough to be a kid in today's era of Lego.
Yeah.
Right? Like there was some relatively expensive sets back in the day, right? But not anything like it is today. So to be seeing, the Sanctum Sanctorum or I don't know, the Daily Bugle, like all of these crazy sets, like the new Batman one that's $400. Like to see all these
Rivendell
things. Yeah, exactly, right? Like all these things that kids would love are just all priced way out of their range. Right. And then they're going to have to deal with the second-hand market when they get older if they want to get it. Right.
Yeah.
So I say it all the time. I'm glad I'm not a kid in today's Lego era just because of seeing everything that's available and knowing that, oh, yeah, I wouldn't have that. Well, I'm not going to have that either. I would be the same kid living vicariously through anyone else who's doing the haul videos, right? Because that would be the only way I could feel like I could do it.
Yeah, we were at the Lego store the other weekend. there's a kid that was like, Mom, look at the Daily Bugle. And then the guy's like, did you see the new Ninjago City that came out? And and the mom already said no to the Daily Bugle and walks over to the Ninjago City. And the kid's like, Mom, I want this one. She's like, not for that price. And it's like, nice try, salesman.
Yeah, not a good upsell there. Might wanted to reel that one back in a little bit.
Yeah,
read the room.
I was laughing inside. I'm like, oh, poor kid.
Next
Mom
thing
was not happy. I think he left with like a $10 DC set. So
hopefully he was just as happy.
Yeah, he looked upset.
Yeah, that I'm not surprised.
It was like a 4+ or something.
Yeah. You're like, why don't you go show them the Falcon 2 there, salesperson, while you're talking to them? Maybe they'll get the new AT-AT or something. Let's go for the moon on this.
Did you see the Eiffel Tower?
We still have gift with purchases for it. So, hey, you'll get something free with it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of running out of thoughts and questions here. I'm just thinking about that poor
kid.
Kid.
Question for you. Do you think you'll ever get the city back up?
I went vertical and I seen the amount of room that it left me now. That this podcast studio used to be the city room. And I think if I would put the city back up, it would be in our main living room in the basement. And it would be 100% completely dedicated to city, which would mean no living room downstairs.
No family time.
we really don't use it. Like it's mainly me down here or my kid playing PS4 or whatever. Yeah. And that's about it. So it would be feasible. I've thought about it. Because like I said, like this whole house has got nothing but Lego in it. Like every room in our house has Lego. And we have an end of the basement that's another room that is our Lego store because we buy and sell Lego constantly. And that's kind of like our storeroom. And so I don't know, like I've been getting the itch just because every time I watch YouTube and I watch somebody's Lego City, it just gives me that urge again because I had it all built up. And I don't know if you know, our basement flooded.
Oof.
And so we had to literally take everything, move it out of the basement. And I had to take my tables down. I built them all framed wood with pop-ups so you could access everything. And I burned all the tables. And I was like, that's it. I'm not rebuilding tables. I'm not doing this. And I'm not going to lie, I miss it. Like, I do miss it.
But no, I believe you. I do like the display behind you. I think it's nice where you can kind of create a little bit more probably intimate scenes when it's just a row of buildings on a shelf, right? Like it's easier to get up close and personal to a lot of it. Yeah. When you have a city and, you've got areas of it where, you can't really access, right? So it makes it difficult to do some stuff there. So,
and honestly, like cleaning, it is so much easier because I remember like I cleaned my city twice in my life. And I had like a makeup brush and like a couple other like duster things. And like one day it was like the sunlight was coming in because I never really paid attention. I just keep adding shit to it.
Yep.
And one day like the sun was coming in through the window and I was looking, I'm like, oh my God. It's like there's like backs of buildings that were like just covered. I'm like, this looks like absolute shit. And I spent like 4 hours on like one section of the city dusting. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate my life.
Oh,
it was so bad.
Oh, I know it. I try to be good. I mean, the room's a giant mess right now. I try to be good and do it once a week, but it's tough. It really is. It's not enjoyable. It's not what you want to be doing.
No. Now they're coming up with, vacuums made for cleaning Lego and everything else, but I try to just dust it off.
I bought one of those because I was going to do a review and I said, I'm not going to ask them to send me one. I'm just going to buy one myself. And It's that brand that everyone sees and hears about, and it got shipped to me just kind of wrapped in bubble wrap and then in a mailer. There was no box. It didn't come in anything. Uh, and then like the filter part that was inside, or no, there's a flap that closes to stop, like to keep a tight seal. I took it out to clean the vacuum and that seal went flying somewhere. No idea where it is. So basically the vacuum's useless now. And I was like, I just don't even feel like doing a review on this now. It's just so terrible. I think maybe I just had a defective one because everyone else talks about how great it is, but I know the one that I received was not so great.
You're like, this vacuum sucks worse than Tanner.
Oh my gosh. Well, no, he's not too bad himself.
I just love how you guys rip on each other.
It's a lot of fun. It's all I never once have to think like it's meant in a negative way, right?
No.
Like we're all so close that it really is kind of one of those bro things where you'd never have a safe word to say like, okay, you went too far with that joke, right? Like we've never had that situation happen. Like I said, I just want to make them laugh. I remember when I was a kid, maybe I was 8 or 10 or something. And we had a family party. It was some holiday, I think. And like my whole family is in the dining room and my dad is, and my uncles are just making everybody laugh like crazy. Just absolutely belly laughs, roars. And I sat there thinking, and I remember to this day saying, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to make a table of people just start cracking up. And I do my best to do it. Like I said, I'll say the stupid things just to get a laugh. I do it at work all the time. I let people know to tell me just to shut up at some point. Because, I just got to throw the joke in at some point. And hopefully I'll have some good ones at Brick World. But, laughter to me is so infectious and it just it lightens me up like crazy. And that was my defense mechanism as a kid too, right? Like we've talked a little bit about baseball, but if I didn't have baseball, right, I think my middle school and high school life would have been a little bit more difficult, right? And because I had that, and I'd be quick to make a joke and quick to bust my own chops so people didn't think something they were saying was hurting or bothering me. It was kind of like a 2-part process for me, make everyone laugh, but then diffuse a situation. So I tend to go that route a lot.
Touching real quick, like on your guys' stream, after a long work week, and I've told this to Kevin before, like it is a absolute relief to jump on the stream and just have that conversation because, not only for me, like work weeks are long, they're stressful on top of kids and sports and running everywhere and it's literally like you take your first breath on Monday and Friday you finally get to exhale. It's a long week and the only thing to look forward to is the stream on a Friday night.
Oh, well, thanks, man.
And you guys are killing it. You guys have been doing it for a long time, but it just keeps getting better and better. And hopefully more people join in and tune in. Every week the numbers are up and down, and like people, it's summer, it's busy, people got lives and stuff, but the more people that know about it, the more people that can tune in, which is, it's every single Friday. Basically, you guys try to every Friday on YouTube. And Kevin does a really good job of setting the reminder ahead of time so you can set an alert.
He's a pro at it. If you want to watch the live stream at 6 a.m., he'll set up the schedule for 6 a.m. He won't tell us that he does that, but he'll set it up for 6 a.m. or he'll use different letters from time to time. Instead of building with buds, it will be some random letter in there. It might be the 83rd episode, but he'll put it as like the 42nd or something. He keeps it. He wants to keep throwing curveballs at everybody, keep you guessing.
Yep. Yeah, he's usually pretty good with that.
Yeah.
He likes to put people on the big screen.
Yep.
Awkward situations.
Awkward times. Yep. He's got a little too familiar with that switch.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed when he didn't know how to do that stuff. Just because it seems like then I become the focus of certain things. But again, I'm like, you know what? If it makes people laugh, I don't care. At the end of the day, if it got a laugh out of them, I'm happy.
Yeah, you get a few good drops out of there. I think the best one, I do have to say, I don't think anybody's gonna top the Yankee game.
Oh my gosh, Moira, I wasn't on that day, but they had told me about it, and they were like, "Watch around this time," and that was amazing. Like I'm as I've gotten older, I've gotten more into hockey than baseball. I still watch a fair amount of baseball, and with the pitch clock, it's made it a little bit easier to watch a ball game instead of dedicating 4 hours to watch a game, right? Kind of difficult where hockey, you get 2.5 hours. If there's no overtime, you're done, right? And I'm passionate about my team when I watch, but man, she's just at a different level.
Yeah. She's a Yankee through and through.
You could tell she tried. You know what? She did. She showed a little bit of restraint and then was like, I don't care. I'm letting my team have it, even from Illinois.
All right. Well, we just hit 1 hour here. We're 2 days away from Brick World. We'll see you more than likely Thursday.
Tired and crawling around, probably.
Yeah. But it should be good. And hopefully we'll get some more content. And I'll do my damnedest to get this thing out here before Brick World, just so people that are driving can listen.
That's right. No worries. I appreciate you having me on. And you and a lot of people that have been pretty vocal supporters of what we do. It's greatly appreciated. You know, I like the small group of people that we have that watch. I think it makes it maybe a little bit more enjoyable than if numbers go crazy. If it happens. But we're fortunate in the space that we're in, and we're pretty happy and content right now. So, but I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. And why don't you plug what you need to plug for where people can find you and Building with Buds, etc.
Yeah, so the handle is Easy Craftsman. I think it has an underscore on Instagram because somebody else already had it. Again, I haven't posted in quite a while, so I'm hoping I get a little inspiration and after Brick World, and maybe my schedule drops a little bit, and then I'll start posting some more videos, getting the city cleaned up, and just trying to share what we're doing. But then on YouTube, on Kevin's channel, Brick Building Biker, you can see us, like you said, pretty much every Friday. Summer's a little bit less just because we're all pretty active with families and stuff. But you can check us out there. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, pretty much every Friday on the Brick Building Biker channel. And we talk Lego, but there's a lot of conversations that don't even involve Lego. You're almost sitting, it's like you're on the couch with us in our therapy session, and we're just saying whatever stupid thing comes to our head.
Yep, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's never been once when it's been scripted or we've said, hey, let's come to the show with a topic today. It's like, just let it happen natural. I know some shows are probably better than others. But I kind of enjoy, you do the one show, you're done with it. It's kind of like Saturday Night Live. You do the show, you're live, you're done. You move on to the next week and you give it a go again. So,
yep. All right.
Obviously not as funny as Saturday Night Live, but
it's pretty close.
That's the only comparison I'll make.
All right. Well, thanks again. And we'll see you at Brick World. We'll see everybody at Brick World.
I'm excited. You're going to have a blast. It's going to be awesome.
All right. We'll catch you later.
Thanks for having me. Bye.